I think most of us have experienced strange moments that just don't seem to fit into normal reality. Glimpses that hint at something elusive, something mysterious but important. Maybe a dream that feels more real than waking life, or an inkling that turns out to be exactly right, or a deja vu so strong that it feels like you're actually remembering the present moment. These are little tiny windows where something deeper seems to seep through. And most of us are taught not to pay a lot of attention to those moments, just to see them as kind of a bizarre glitch or anomaly and move on. But what if these glimpses are actually showing us that we're more than we think we are? Today, I want to take you on a journey into that mystery. So, multidimensionality is the idea that we're not just a single being housed in a physical body moving through linear time. Instead, from a multidimensional perspective, we see ourselves as a soul, a vast field of consciousness, simultaneously present across multiple timelines, dimensions, and frequencies. From this perspective, our human identity, our name, our story, our body, is just one expression of who we truly are. So if your awareness shifted, like changing a different radio station, you could tap into a version of yourself in a completely different reality, in different times, different bodies, even completely different existences. And today, more and more people are feeling this or sensing this and beginning to have direct experiences of these states. Even science is beginning to echo what mystics have been saying for millennia. Quantum physics shows us that reality isn't fixed, that time can bend, that particles can be entangled, and that multiple versions of reality can coexist. Take quantum entanglement. Two particles so deeply connected that a change in one immediately affects the other, no matter where they're located in space. Or the many worlds interpretation, which suggests that every single choice point branches out into multiple different realities. And since we're made of the same energy, it would make sense that we too exist across multiple realities, connected, layered, and alive in ways that's hard for us to even comprehend. But you don't need to understand quantum physics to feel this reality within you. Most people I work with tell me of times when they felt like this, and almost anyone I've ever asked can go through and think of some time that felt like it had this quality to it. They might be meeting someone for the first time and having a deep sense that you already know them, or getting a vivid memory or flash that just doesn't fit into this life you're living right now. Maybe tapping into wisdom that seems so deep and profound that it's well beyond what you normally have access to. Or feeling a guiding presence that somehow feels like you, but just not quite. These are bleed throughs. Moments when your awareness briefly stretches beyond your normal limitations. For me, this became undeniable during what I call the magical blue period in my life back in the 90s. At that time, the veils around me completely thinned, and I had so much more access to the wider version of reality. I could drop easily into expanded states of awareness. And from that perspective, my identity as Christina living this life became just one thread in a much larger tapestry of being. In the expanded states of being, I felt free and playful and joyful, as if I existed on a current of love. I knew I was part of something infinite, a joyful, intelligent system of soul energy. In these states, I felt free and playful and whole. And coming back into the density of the physical body felt jarring, and it would take me a little bit of time to adjust to this more limited perspective. In my hypnosis practice, I use BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing, to bring other people into this expanded state of being. And when people enter deep trance, they often meet unexpected versions of themselves. Past lives, parallel lives. Well, when we look at it from a quantum perspective, it's all parallel lives, but that's a topic for another time. Light beings, orbs, even strange symbolic forms that we wouldn't expect. And what they find in their sessions often doesn't align with what they hoped to find from a human perspective. They may not be a galactic princess or a famous historical figure, but what they discover is always transformative. Missing and lost pieces of themselves, forgotten wisdom, and deep truths that change their whole perspective of being. One session that comes to mind was a client who, when she came out of the trance state, just opened her eyes and was like, wow, who would have thought that one of my best lives would be as a primordial mosquito? But that tiny form had offered her a profound experience. She wasn't in any way less than. She was connected, filled with purpose, and perfectly at ease in her environment. So why explore multidimensionality? Is it something that we should pay attention to? And the answer is yes. For some of us, it matters. And if you found your way to this video, there's probably something inside you nudging you to move in this direction, which means that yes, this is something to look more deeply into. Because exploring multidimensionality isn't about just looking at the weirdness or glitchiness of life. It's about remembering who you truly are. When you access the deeper aspects of self, through dreams, trance, meditation, synchronicity, whatever way feels right to you, you start to reclaim your divine nature. You stop identifying solely with the socially conditioned version of yourself and begin to recognize the vast, intelligent consciousness that you're a part of. And the key is the more that we focus on it, the stronger it'll become. So next time you feel a nudge, a little whisper, give it some room, give it some space. Don't dismiss it. Sit with it. Let it unfold. Because when we pay attention to these subtle moments, we tell our systems, this matters to me. And where attention goes, energy flows. By honoring the mystery, we create space for it to expand into our reality. And this awareness doesn't magically fix everything. It doesn't remove the challenges of life, but it can help us to navigate them with more grace and more trust. And this helps us to stop fully identifying with the wounded aspects of us and helps us find the internal energy to be able to hold those aspects and help to heal and integrate them. Because that's the magical thing about multidimensionality, is that as much as we can go out and connect with ourselves from galactic perspectives or past life experiences, we also have a whole network of selves within. I have another video where I've already touched on that, and I plan to do more on that in the future. But in the same way that we are connected to our soul that is connected to all the different lives that we've lived, we also internally are like a soul that have all these other aspects that are connected to us in a similar kind of way, ultimately creating a never-ending infinite fractal going within and without. Life is not boring. It's so fascinating and magical and beautiful. Okay, so thank you to anyone who's made it this far. This was a really challenging episode to do just because the language of multidimensionality is so hard to contain in a small finite box that we are in the human form. Again, I'm having so much fun with this, and I hope that other people are enjoying it. It touches my heart every time I get a new subscriber. I'm enjoying this time of just exploring and playing. And I'm glad there's not a lot of people watching. But I'm also trusting that those who take the time to subscribe are really interested and are interested in the journey as a whole. And knowing that it's not something that's going to be perfect, it's going to be a little messy. I'm learning how to speak, how to edit in real time. And I know the editing is, it's not amazing. It's a bit all over the place. It's a bit clunky, but I'm getting it. And I know with time it will get cleaner and, easier for me because it's taking up a lot of time generally for me right now, more time than I would ultimately like it to. But that's okay. I'm invested in this and I've committed to doing it. So until next time, from my heart to yours, let's come together to create a future built on the foundation of love.